Ah, there you are, my fellow Imperials. Come, join me. What's that? Oh, it seems you're here because you're interested in the darker side of the Force. Not the Sith, but the witches of Dathomir. Force users that channel the Force to perform rituals, spells and magics that can be very dangerous to others who are willing enough to face them. Of course, the Nightsisters and their coven are all but extinct today. Or are they? For all we know, their magic still radiates through the ancient hellish landscapes of Dathomir, ready to consume whichever unfortunate individual strays too far into the planet's unforgiving wilderness. For all we know, that magic could be ready to take us right now. So with that, welcome back to the Imperial Academy, and let's talk about the Nightsisters of Dathomir. So, theatrics aside, the Nightsisters of Dathomir have a history that today remains somewhat shrouded in mystery. But the supposed beginning of the Nightsisters Coven began with a female Jedi named Olya, whom was banished or exiled from the Jedi Order to the planet of Dathomir by the Jedi Council, to which Olya then devoted her time to teaching other females in the way of the Force, and thus creating the Order of the Nightsisters. The Nightsisters eventually became the dominant force on the surface of the planet, ruling over and subjugating the Zabrak settlers, which also called the planet home, thus creating the Night Brothers. But Olya did more than just teach these women to utilise the Force in the forms of alchemy and spells. She also created the Book of Laws, which taught the sisters to hate the Jedi Order. What was in this book, we can only guess, as it is probably lost to the winds of time. But from that point onwards, the Nightsisters flourished, splitting into clans which lived in harmony. This period was known as the Golden Age of the Nightsisters. All good things come to an end though, and this era was certainly no exception, with the clans eventually growing further apart. With that, a very important figure within the coven named Talzin would arise to become the clan mother of the Nightsisters. Her fate remains unknown, but they say that she was defeated at the hands of our very own Emperor and his former acquaintances. Although, even with Mother Talzin's leadership, the Coven eventually declined in numbers until its eventual fracture at the hands of the Separatist General Grievous during the Clone Wars, with the majority of members within the Coven being killed by the Droid army, with the suspected few surviving. Come the age of the Empire, it is generally believed that the Nightsisters are all but extinct, with very few sightings of the elusive witches both on and off of Dathomir. But hey, that's good for you troopers especially, one less thing within the galaxy to worry about when out in the field. As you know, the Nightsisters are practitioners of the Force, but that is not all. What the Nightsisters do utilise is a substance known as magical ichor, or magic with a K that is. This ichor flows through Dathomir from its interior, with properties that mystify even the top scientists of the Empire. From observation and archival reports, this ichor offers abilities to those who harness it. Abilities that are truly nothing short of wild, even when compared to what Force users are capable of. Proficient Nightsisters are capable of summoning objects, weapons and items for use out of thin air. They could separate an individual's consciousness from their physical body, turning them into a ghost, and speaking of ghost, they even had the capabilities to reanimate the dead, conjuring up an army of former deceased Nightsisters to fight for them, which I'm sure is absolutely terrifying. Of course, that's just the tip of the iceberg. This ichor can make Nightsisters very powerful, being able to harness the natural elements of Dathomir's biosphere, utilising it for their magics and as an advantage in armed combat. They also utilise the surrounding land for cover, manoeuvrability, and to keep trespassers on their toes. Unlike the Sith or the Jedi, the Nightsisters do not wish to achieve total galactic domination or emotional enlightenment and peace. Instead, their belief is that to be a part of the Coven is to survive, to view everything around them as a means to an end. The Night Brothers, the wildlife, the plants, the stars, the ichor, the magic. To the Nightsisters, they are all a means of survival. Nothing more, nothing less. With this philosophy, the Nightsisters are not easily swayed by the strings of emotion or the hunger for power or peace that typically affects other Force users. They feel very little in the way of pity and remorse for the things they discard or kill, instead channeling those emotions to the needs of themselves and the Coven. With that being said, while individual Nightsisters are unlikely to turn into Sith Lords due to their strongly held beliefs, they are not completely immune to the allure of the dark side of the Force, as much of their magic is dark side in nature. This could also have contributed to the reason most Nightsisters prefer martial and ranged combat with light bows and swords, of which records indicate they were very proficient at using, especially on Dathomir. The Nightsisters are led by powerful and experienced magic users like Mother Talzin, for example. These leaders were suspected to be quite powerful and could stand up to the likes of fully trained Jedi Masters and Sith Lords with effort. And to have these witches roaming around today, I can only wonder what sort of trouble that would have caused for the Empire. And speaking of such, I think you now know a little bit about the Nightsisters of Dathomir, and a bit about their history and their characteristics and culture. Thank you very much for watching. Long live the Empire, may the Force be with you, and remember, beware, don't mess with things you don't understand, like the Nightsisters.